Hello and welcome to Sea of Thieves. Today we're going to be talking about combat instead of our normal troll videos. This is per someone's request, so I have to do it seriously, unfortunately. But what we have here is my normal setup, sword and pistol. And watch as I hit this. And then I take out my pistol, and then I could fire. So there's actually a new delay that has been added to pulling out a gun that can fire. It is essentially that you have to wiggle it around, and then you could fire. That's just to stop double gunning, but let me show you something about this. So this actually hip fires relatively accurately. See, I can hit this mast reliably without actually aiming it. I could aim as well, and if you want to, you can go in here. I'm going to take out this gun here. You can see some of the guns that have cosmetics, you can have a little aimer, a little iron sight there. This is the Kraken flintlock. If you're wondering, it's in the Devil's Roar. If you decide to go down there, I apologize. Anyways, I have to turn my ship a bit, because that ship might be coming in. We might have to fight them. We will be fighting them at one point, so might as well just be prepared for it. Alright, and we're back, and we have ourselves the Eye of Reach. The Eye of Reach cannot be hip-fired very well compared to the pistol. In fact, unless you're pressing it into someone, it's essentially useless. You can see it also could be used as a scope. It has the glare to another player, just like your scope would. So keep that in mind. If you're aiming, someone can probably see the reflection. Here we have a hip fire. Doesn't hit the mast, but if I quickly scope in and fire, you can see it hits it perfectly. So you're basically going to have to aim this thing if you're going to use it. It's also taken a number of damage nerfs, so I generally don't use it unless I'm fighting for a skull fort and I know that I'm going to be shooting at a mega keg, or we're close enough that we could shoot each other. So here is our blunderbuss. You can get this if you actually, it's limited cosmetic, you can't. Oh. And we're going to talk about this. This is actually pretty unique compared to the other guns. It's the only gun that has knockback currently, and it fires in a cone directly in front of you. And aiming and hip firing is essentially the same. If you have someone boarding you, you could just shoot them like that. It'll knock them off the ladder. But if you shot them with a pistol, they would just take damage and dangle there. So keep that in mind as well. Now, we're going to talk about some other things as far as the cutlass and how that works. I think understanding the cutlass is probably the most important thing. So here we got our cutlass, we got our pistol. The most reliable kill, in my opinion, is pistol shot, then cutlass dash, or double cutlass dash, or double pistol shot. That's just what I've been comfortable with. It can block. Anyone swinging a sword at you can basically not damage you. They can jump over your block, so keep that in mind. If you have someone who's just shitting on you, you can do that. Now, you can see I can do 3 sword swings, but if I miss, I just huff and puff for a little second. So 1, 2, 3, and if you're swinging wildly like this, you have a delay, and you can't do the 3 combo. So essentially what you could do is hit walls with your sword, hit cannons with your sword, hit the mast with your sword, and that will allow you to do more damage. Now, what you can see here is I can dash, just a slight dash, with a block. You can do this in 8 different directions, or if you have a console, maybe more. I've never used a controller. But you can do it backwards, and you can do 1 or 2 backwards while they're doing that. And then you can turn that into a sword dash and essentially break through their swipes. I believe that ship is coming to me, so we'll get to do that soon. Sword dash is probably my favorite mechanic. There's a lot of complexity to it. It allows you to do stuff like launch yourself into the water. But I'll show you essentially what the most effective way to use the sword slash is. So what you want to do is, first of all, aim it at whatever you can. You can actually do a lot of aiming while you're doing that. If you're jumping, you can get all over a sloop. It's very good indoors as well, so keep that in mind. You can see as I walk here, I'm pretty slow, but if I sword dash, you can see how I pick up speed. That is essentially something, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's intended, or if it was a bug that is now intended. Whether or not it's either of those, it's been left in the game since launch and beta, so keep that in mind. If you're going to sword dash at all, you also want to know that you can jump. So I'm going to sword dash here, and you're going to see I get to about the mast. That's not great. especially if you have someone out front, like maybe over here, like doing pistol stuff at you. They're gonna pistol you twice before you get to them. But if you sword dash and jump, you'll get back to the mast because I fucked it up. Let's try this one more time, or 2 or 3 more times because I have performance anxiety. Okay, here we go. I fucked it up again. All right. There we go. So you can see how much further you get if you hit jump as you're about to sword dash. Now, the reason why you want to do this more often than not is so you can cover more ground. You can see up. Fuck, I'm in the water. Let's talk about this a bit. The reason why you want to do this is you want to hit as many people with the sword dash as possible. If you're fighting a galleon, the further your sword dash is, the more you get. You also don't have to run directly into like a blunderbuss range to do your sword dash. So keep that in mind. So as far as triggering that, what you essentially want to listen for, and I'll show you while we sword dash into the water here, is right now. Whenever I look down, that's when you want to hit jump. That's how you can know. You use the sound effect as kind of a cue. I can't really explain it that well. What I suggest is you just hop on a solo sloop and fuck around for 15 minutes, and you'll eventually get the hang of it. But what I want to do, essentially, is actually show you these things in combat and discuss how they work, so you can actually see these being useful and not me just dicking around on a sloop at a different outpost. So we're going to go ahead and approach this brig here, and I'll let the footage kind of speak for itself. Hello? How's it going? Ding 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 ding. So here you can see that I am jumping in the water and shooting a shark. Very useful to make sure you clear out your battlefield of all sharks. That way one doesn't sneak up on you and bite you. Now I'm boarding back up to my ship here, essentially to be able to see what all my enemies are doing. Having a banana, because I'm a bit peckish. Reloading my gun to make sure that I don't get caught out without ammo. Now I'm going to sit down, sort of floating, to disarm them and gain their trust. This is very important in the heat of combat. So, what's going on, guys? How you doing? What happened here? With the recent changes to the pirate code, I'm engaging in some friendly conversation with the enemies. That was an accident. I should still be on my ship, but I'm gonna play it off. Check out their rowboat, make sure there's no bombs or anything on it. I'm gonna sneak up behind them here, and I'm gonna sit down. You can see the George Washington looking fellow is bewildered. Soon after, he joins me in a circle where we all sit down. I thought that said the fingering one. One of them has begun to rustle. They're walking around, they're exploring. Oh good. I think one of them has found a banana. They put it away and sit down with us. I engage in some friendly drinking. That one has some weird teeth. And one by one, they begin logging out in boredom. I've scuttled my ship just to make sure he could not do anything to my ship that I haven't already done to it. Since they can't seem to talk, I engage in some textual chat with them, describing the feels. Only 2 enemies remain at this time, and the last one disappears, making us the victor in combat, and we now have 2 rowboats to ourselves. In victory, I sit near a rock. Thank you for watching this combat video. I hope it helped you become a better PvPer. There will be a second one coming out very soon, so good luck. Alright, for real though, we're going to look at some actual combat footage. It took place maybe about half an hour later after I restocked the ship. Tried to get on the ladder of the mast there, but it didn't work out. So we got a bit of a long swim ahead of us. Not really an issue because I don't currently have any holes. I think they're going to try to get some shots on me while they're there. They probably think we're a duo sloop since I shot myself out wildly, but I'm not. I'm a solo sloop. The goal wasn't really to protect my ship. It's basically to get into as much combat as possible. And the best way to do that is to get on a galleon. So I got hit once here. I'm going to immediately banana and jump around. Make sure I don't get killed here. I do need to banana one more time. When you engage in combat, make sure you're full on bananas, or else you're going to get fucked on. Hit back here. He's going to come back. Yep, there he is. And that was the pistol sword dash that I was talking about. You're going to want to do a lot of that in combat if you're going with a cutlass. If you're going double gun, I'll try to make a video on that, but it's not very advisable. Right here, I'm lucky. I should have died there. But he tried to hip fire me with a pistol, or not a pistol, eye of reach. Didn't work out. That should have killed me though. What I should have done is immediately bananaed. I'm going to try to sword dash him here because he went back here, but apparently he went into the aether. I have no idea where the fuck he went. To this day, I still don't know where he went. So I'm down here. What you always want to do is always be getting bananas and always be getting ammo when you're boarding a ship. I'm just going to take some hip fires at this guy here. This one I miss. Would have killed him if I would have got it. I missed the fat guy too. Fat guys are always problems, but this one wants to fucking shoot at my ship apparently. He's dead. Now we're doing the old sword dash, 180 sword dash. This is something you want to get used to if you're going to be using a cutlass. You can see we wiped 2 of them out, or 3 of them out actually. There should be a 4th one somewhere, probably down here. Yep, oh, he's at the ammo. And this is where it gets a bit dicey. But I'm going to go ahead and continue getting behind him, sword dashing, staying out of his vision. What you want to do with a sword dash is you want to get as far out of his vision as possible. I cut out some footage there just because I was waiting for respawns. Getting some ammo, eating some bananas, you know. So just 2 hip fire pistols there, and we're good. Going back to get some more ammo. I eventually get caught out down here because I miss all of my shots. And one of them respawned behind me with a sword right here. I tried to eat a banana through it to heal, but the 3 slashes are too much. I'm respawning on my ship. I'm going to cut out the respawn. And as you can see, as I pet my cat, we're almost underwater, but we're good. I'm not able to get back on the ship at this point, but I think we got our combat here. He fucked off to somewhere, and they're all going to begin firing cannons. But yeah, that's just a short little intro to the pistol cutlass. I will do a real video on this very soon.